we're going to move over to Champ Select right now.
Alright, let's make sure to switch this over.
Okay, so boom.
Alright,
Oh,
beautiful.
there we go. All right, so let's look at these teams here. Go ahead, man. Give us your analysis.
So we have Wukong Jungle versus Lee Sin Jungle. We were just talking about the Lee Sin changes. Still haven't taken effect though. He's got a really strong early game. He's really good against Wukong because if he hits the Q or the E, he gets visibility of invisible units. So if Wukong tries to clone Juke or clone whatever, Lee Sin will be able to see him and can make plays. So I really like that matchup in the jungle. Wukong scales insanely well into the late game with his AoE ultimate and built-in tankiness from his passive when champions are nearby. But Lee Sin's early game is going to be a lot stronger, so I expect them to look for the early advantages with their Renekton.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to press their early game advantage and really bully out that Shyvana.
And what's really cool about that comp too is with the overall like early game pressure that you're going to have with Lee Sin and Renekton, they also have like a pretty safe bet where they have a Vayne and a Ziggs. Ziggs scales. He's pretty solid throughout the like every phase of the game, and his just wave clears are really gonna help stall out until the late game if they need to. And then Vayne's late game is just it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's extremely scary. So they have like a really good transition comp where Lee and Renekton they're gonna have a lot of early pressure, but then they can also just build tank items, scale pretty well into the late game, and then they can obviously they have a lot of peel and zoning for Vayne to just go around and do a lot of work there. So I really like that team.
It's definitely a good comp.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Sin's got great utility late game for the peel, like you were saying. His E slows movement speed and attack speed with the kick. You can really protect your team. A little bit now.
Hello, can you hear me? You talk.
Yeah, no, it's moving, so I think they can maybe hear us now.
How about now? Can you guys? Looks like we were just talking there for a while and no one could hear us, which is just great, by the way. Hopefully people can hear us. I'm assuming so. You talk some more, because that thing should be going back and forth if you're talking.
It is bouncing around, so I think it should be working.
Say something really loud. Just
Hello! I'm not trying to break you guys' earbuds, but I don't know, I think...
No, it's working, I think. Hopefully. David, if you're there, can you hear both of us? Because if not, if you just hear me talking, then that's not very good. And I need to switch this over too, because we're about to go in game. So let me switch this here. So for blue team, we have Grim Reefers, so I'll do GF here. And then instead of Bear Force 1, we have White Boy and the Asians, I think, right?
GF for Grim Reefers?
I'm just Reef. I'm really good at spelling GF. G-R.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. R's pretty close to F on the keyboard. No, I'm just an idiot, so. Okay, and then the other one was White Boy and the Asians, right?
Yeah.
White Boy Asians.
Okay, the WNBA.
Yes, the W, almost NBA over here. Alright, let me Twitch over here. Can hear you? Okay, you can hear us both. Okay.
Right, I'll just talk louder, that's fine.
Okay. And I think I purposely made it so your mic's a little bit softer than mine, just because that mic's a little bit more sensitive.
And I accidentally muted it. I hope I didn't. But,
oh, it's okay.
Anyway, so did you guys get to hear any of our discussion about the team comps, or was that all lost? About pretty much everything that we discussed for the
Well, I
last
mean, we
few
can
minutes.
we can just go over it again. Pretty much the moral of the story is the purple team down at the bottom, really good early game with Renekton Lee Sin, really good transition with Ziggs, and then obviously Vayne for the late game. And then they also have a lot of peel too with like Thresh, Lee Sin, Renekton. So Vayne's going to have a lot of room to do work. And then we were also talking about the top team up here, and they're just one pick short of away from like a really, really strong comp. And that's Sivir. Sivir instead of Varus. Varus still brings a lot of stuff. I mean, he brings like a little bit like a root, some long range poke, and he doesn't scale as well as Vayne, but he still scales pretty well with like his percentage damage and stuff like that. I think you could proc it pretty well. But looks like we're going to be getting into game here. So, what do you think is going to be happening in the level 1 here? I don't imagine. Who do you think, if there was a level 1 fight, who do you think would win right now?
It's
pretty close.
Level 1, yeah, it's definitely close. I think I'd probably have to give the advantage to purple team. They have the Thresh, so they can kind of bring someone out into a bad spot. Renekton, Vayne, who's got the Tumble, which is really good in early fights because it gives you that auto reset, and the Lee Sin and Ziggs with good poke. So I think if there was level 1, purple would have it, but I really don't expect much aggressiveness here. Probably just trying to make it past the early game and sustain. I mean, you got Wukong in the jungle, so you're not going to be that aggressive. And you got the Lulu and Ori, who both scale extremely well, and they're really what I think
much utility.
They're looking for
two.
Team fights, and they're looking to really just protect their carries, give them a lot of shield, speed up, and slow down the enemy. And using those AoE wombos with the Wukong ultimate into Ori and Lulu and Shyvana. Pretty scary AoE CC abilities, mostly knockups. Pretty much, actually they are all knockups, except for the Varus route. So I think the team fights are going to be a big factor here. If red team, purple team can avoid grouping up for the area of effect, they can probably win the team fights without much issue. They got a more brawling comp, like a small skirmishing team comp, while blue team is more of a heavy team fight, 5v5
definitely
comp.
too. Purple team should be able to spread out pretty quick. If you look at just across the board around there, every single person on that team has... Obviously, everyone has flash, so people can spread out in that regard. But also, too, I mean, you have Lee Sin, who's just extremely mobile. Renekton has a slice and dice. Renekton, level 1 going on right here. Thresh going in for an early invade. Gets the hook on Lulu. Vayne's going to be going in. Lee's going to be following in with a Sonic Wave. They should be able to get first blood with an Ignite here. Pretty easily. Just need one Ignite. Lee Sin's going to go ahead and flash for that first blood right there.
Yeah, he got getting a little greedy trying to save his
And that's not something
flash.
you want that early. Lee Sin with a kill that early. And it looks like they might be able to get a free red here. He's just going to go ahead and... he's going to go ahead and get that free red, or he missed it, which is kind of sucks, but he's going to be able to take that no problem, and then that's going to set Wu pretty far behind. Even though Wu's starting to blue, he's going to get down here and be like, oh, crap.
Yeah, having the kill on Lulu is really big. Not only can the Vayne Thresh lane, who's pretty weak early, versus a heavy poke lane like Varus Lulu, which you would expect to push him out of the lane early, they can take the advantage and snowball the early level 2 and try and continue to build their lead, while Lee Sin is easily able to take the red buff and get a level advantage there, and Lulu's flash is still down. She blew it late there.
Oh yeah.
So she's still very vulnerable to ganks, and without any really easy escape, I think Lee Sin may benefit from coming back down here.
Let's go ahead and... Oh, I guess I do have... Oh, that's just chat. Let's see what's going on in chat. Press D. Just kidding. See what's... It looks like just someone might have DC'd here. We're just waiting to see what's going on. Yeah, it looks like Ori DC'd. So we're just going to wait until she gets back into the game. It looks like having a little bit of computer issues. That happens, though, especially when tournaments all online, so people are kind of in charge of their own shit sort of thing. So already, just with that first blood, Lee Sin, you don't ever want to give a Lee Sin first blood, because he's already extremely snowbally, and just that's a huge advantage just at the very start here.
One thing I noticed from the starting builds here is that you have Ori with the Crystalline Flask and Ziggs with the Doran's Ring. So Ziggs is looking to...
I feel like that's kind of puts Ori in a stance where she's like, I know I'm not going to win very early. Like, I need to... I'm not going to out-damage Ziggs, so I just need to live through it. Especially, her mana costs are really high very early, too, until she gets Chalice. So I feel like that's what that Flask is there first for.
Yeah, by going Flask Health Potions, you get the most amount of health, sustain, and regen that you could possibly have level 1. So against champions with insanely high poke, for example, okay, anyway, so champions with insanely high poke, for example, Ziggs, really provide a lot of harass onto that slightly lower range Ori. So the Flash will allow her to stay in that lane longer and farm up so that she can get the Chalice. Um, the thing about Ori is that most Oris max the Q on her, which is her command attack, where she moves the ball, and that starts out at 50 mana and continues to stay at 50 mana throughout all levels of the skill. So her mana costs really don't change that much. Her W, however, does scale mana cost as well up. So maxing the Q gives you the most cost efficient use of your mana on Ori. So I suspect Q max with Athene's Rush coming out of there, but it will be a little delayed. Especially if she decides to pick up a Doran's Ring or two, just to give that extra health for protection against Ziggs.
Now, what do you think about the bot lane matchup down here? Because right now we have Thresh Vayne. That can be pretty aggressive. It's kind of a short range. I feel like if you're going to pick Vayne against Varus Lulu, like if it was Caitlyn Lulu, I'd be scared out of my mind as the Vayne player. Because me personally, I'm awful with Vayne. I'd be looking for that 2v1 kind of swap just to get Vayne or free farm. But just what do you think about this bot lane right now? Because you have Varus and Lulu, both very... you have Glitterlance, which is poke. You have her E, that's like, if you use it on an enemy, that's pretty good. I mean, you can't dodge that at all. It's just a targeted damage right there. And then you also have Varus Q, which is, that hits pretty hard too, the more, like, once you get a few ranks in it. So, I don't know, what are your thoughts on the bot lane?
Well, initially you were talking about lane swap and how you might consider getting the lane swap for the free farm of Vayne. I think that it's a good move that they didn't lane swap here because Renekton is easily able to beat Shyvana in lane because she scales so well later but weak early. Probably should have gone for the Doran's Blade on Renekton start to really be aggressive and push him out of lane. But anyway, that's just that. So back to the bot lane. I think that in a perfectly even skill matchup, I think that Varus and Lulu would take that bottom lane. But since they did get the early kill onto Lulu, and they have, I guess they blew the Varus flash too. I'm not exactly sure when they got that, but they have both flashes down in the bot lane.
At the very start, when they were both in that bush, I think Varus might have used it pretty early, like when Lulu did too.
Okay.
It looks like Ori reconnected, so it looks like we're about to start the game here again. Just a second here. It looks like Ori reconnected. I think it was just an issue with like their laptop charger or something like that. So, yep, looks like we're about to start again here in just a second here. All right, so here we are back to the game.
So then, like I was saying, that bot lane, now that they have a little bit of a lead and the flash is down, Thresh can really take advantage of that hook.
Now, Lee Sin, he has red buff here. If he can land a Q on Ori, he doesn't know where Wukong is, and he's just going to go ahead and just walk away from it like it's nothing. Zig's getting some free poke here. Zig's zoning is just, it's a little much, don't you think? I think just his bombs right there, I forget what that's
like Ori's DCing again. She's just standing there.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Might need to pause again, but yeah, Ziggs' poke and zoning ability is insanely high. All of his abilities are area of effect. Yeah, there's the pause again. All of his attacks are area of effect, so that really gives him some of the best zone control of the game. Not only can you zone with your E, your landmines, Hextech, you have the W, which can bounce people away or bounce an enemy into you. Or, I mean, it's similar to Gragas ult in that you can use it to separate the enemy team. And also, of course, his ultimate, the Mega Inferno Bomb, which will zone a giant area of the map and do a solid amount of damage if Ziggs can get some AP under his belt. Also, he's got his Q with the Bouncing Bomb, which will... with 40% CDR max rank, a 2.4 second cooldown, you can just spam that out, clear waves, poke hard under tower, whatever you want. He's a great sieger, he's a great anti-sieger. Ziggs overall is really strong in this meta for protecting and destroying towers. What did it say?
Let me look here. Something about, I think this person's playing a Spia building. I don't know, I guess I can move it.
Broken Spia outlets.
Let's figure it out. We figured out the problem, they said. Okay. So hopefully we'll be getting back in the game soon. It's really fun to broadcast a game when it's paused.
Yeah, this is the first problem we've had since I've been casting, but...
Well, just with the game. But we've been having a lot of issues with audio
and
stuff
the
like
audio.
that today. More so than we've usually had. Like, the first Tuesday in-house, we didn't have a single problem with anything at all, but since then we almost had a little scare at the last one, and then
The Echo
the
today.
Echo today. The dreaded early game Echo that we went through. But we're here.
Yeah.
Still casting.
Still getting the kinks out. Trying to do the best we can for you
Yeah.
guys.
But luckily, it's really cool that they have the pause feature for this, because this would really suck if they didn't.
Mhm.
It would kind of take the integrity out of some of the games in the tournament too.
Yeah, so you can see here, Wukong having finished a blue is moving towards his red.
Just
but
chugging health pots right now. You see
yeah,
that?
spam health pots.
I feel like that's pretty crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, he's moving towards the red, but Lee Sin, after killing Lulu, had already made the way and to taking his red. So he's going to be wasting a lot of time, and he'll probably just try and pick up the race and maybe the double golems. But he will be extremely far behind, and especially if Lee Sin is able to pick up all 3 of these buffs, that'll give him almost level 4.
All right, looks like we're back into the game here. So, like you said earlier, Renekton kind of dumpsters on Shyvana pretty early, but then Shyvana scales a little bit better. In the mid here, Ori taking a few extra hits. Why can I not?
So he's probably really happy right now that he started with the Crystalline Flask. Since he's nearly dead, he's going to need all that health that he can get to come back into this lane. Might have to have an early back, but either way, he'll be able to get the Crystalline Flask refilled.
It looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble controlling Spectator here.
You can't. Is it not moving?
No, it's like on the. Maybe it's because I did something with chatter. I don't know. Yeah, none of my keyboard or my mouse commands are working for. Oh, I guess that works. That's weird. But my keyboard is not.
Speaking of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I guess
right?
I'll just do it. I can't even click the minimap. It's just the scrolling of the mouse speed that works.
You try putting on manual.
I can. Like I guess I could do. Oh. I mean, I can do it like that.
Just minimize it and reopen it. That might do the trick. You can't minimize it because it's windowless or borderless. All right. Anyway, so what you can see from the bot lane here is they're actually being pretty aggressive. They're pushing up, they're harassing, which you really honestly wouldn't expect. They're pretty much just outplaying right now. Lulu should be able to poke back. Same with Varus, but they're just overextending, letting Thresh get a few too many autos on them, as well as Vayne proccing the silver bolts. He's been looking for the Q over this side. Doesn't land it though.
He's just gonna go ahead and walk away from that one.
So Wukong got the early back. He has the the Spirit Stone. So he'll be able to regen pretty well. They recently changed in the last patch, so you get 6% health for all the damage you do to the jungle camps and 3% mana, but it's no longer halved for AoE spells. So that helps Wukong because he does have that E, and typically jungle Wukong's max the E first. It gives you a little bit more sustain from that ability.
He's going to come around and see that his golems are gone. And Lee's doing a really good job counter jungling right here. Oh, we just missed a kill up top. Still some action going on down here. They're going to be able to get a pick off on this Lee pretty easily.
Yeah, Lee Sin's overextended. Right.
And there's not a lot of help from his team over here either. They just kind of sat here in farm lane. But I guess it was pretty far over here. But Renekton picking up a kill on Shyvana top lane. And he's already almost doubled. I mean, he's over double her CS already.
I mean, that's what you would expect
like
from the Renekton. And I really hope that he ends up rushing Tiamat into Hydra. It'll allow him to shove the lane extremely hard against the Shyvana, as well as giving him great dueling power in that lane. And he'll be able to sustain no problem. He looks like he's going the Sunfire route, which is the more common build I see him. Not in pro play, because recently in pro play you see people picking up that Tiamat almost every game. It's really become popular, and I can tell why. It's really a powerful build.
Oh yeah, Hydra is it's probably my favorite item in the game. Hey, like,
it is
as soon as it came out, back in season 3 was when it was first introduced. When they redid Tiamat and they made it upgrade into Hydra. It looks like we got Thresh Hook going on here. Vayne's going to put out some damage. Still, I guess, farming some minions too. So just a little bit of a trade there. Missed a kill in the mid. Wu should be able to pick this up.
Yeah,
it should be pretty even. He gives it away. He already knows.
Lee will take the 1-for-1 on that one, but still, Don't want to give Wukong too many kills because, like I said, he scales extremely well. His team fighting potential is one of the best in the game with that Cyclone ultimate. But if you look in the bot lane, you can see the CS discrepancy here. It's not even close. He's got
Oh my
50
gosh.
CS.
I
Yeah,
didn't even see that.
he's
That
got
is
50 CS up on him, which means for a Vayne, this is
that's
going
pretty
to be a
huge.
really, really rough
Does it? I
game.
mean, you couldn't ask for a better lane as Vayne. Just give yourself a 50 CS lead against something like this.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You also have the level advantage, and um, how much do you get a lot of experience for assist at level 1? Like especially with the Lee Sin kill. Does that give them the level 2 advantage down here?
It typically will. I believe the first blood, depending on how many people are in range to split the XP, is worth about 1 to 3 creeps, caster creeps. So, like, if there's 3 people there, it may only be worth 1, but if you're there alone, it may be worth 2 or 3 creeps. So it definitely does help with that advantage. And since Lulu wasn't even there, they had no problem really abusing that early kill.
But anyway, like we were talking about before, Hydra, when it first came out in Season 3, I'm going to go ahead and give you a hipster history lesson, because I'm a huge Dominion player. I used to play a lot of bot lane Dominion, and I would play Nocturne. Nocturne with Hydra, if you think about his passive and how it relates with Hydra, I'd run like attack speed, like Reds or something like that, just to proc it as much as I could. But it's like, it's a deceptive amount of lifesteal that it gives early on. And it used to be, they've lowered the cost on it, and a lot of people are more picking it up now. It's coming to a lot more favor recently, especially with people picking it up in like the LCS and stuff like that. But still, one of my favorite items in the game.
Yeah, it definitely has just gotten better over time, and it's really one of the top picks for for top laners. I think almost anyone can benefit from it, and it would be rare for someone not to do well on Hydra. Obviously, you shouldn't get it on a ranged champion, but besides that, but did you know the passive doesn't work from the Hydra on the range, but you can still do the active, and it'll hit people around you just like if you were melee. So pretty interesting, but you don't get the full benefit of the item.
Looks like Lee Sin's going to come down here for a little bit of action. I don't know exactly. They're a little bit too far here. Ori and Wu coming behind. Looks like they're going to be going for a kill on Varus right there.
Wow.
Thresh puts down the box, and hopefully they can get it. And they need to walk out right now because Wu's coming. He's going to ult. Going to get the Thresh right there. And the Vayne. Vayne's going to be able to walk out of this one. Thresh is still alive too. Wow, how did that happen with the Oriole and the Wukong ult? They both
a little bit of a misfocus there.
Yeah.
They couldn't decide if they wanted Thresh or Vayne, and they were not on the same page there.
Ziggs coming down to clean up too. He has his he doesn't have his Mega Inferno bomb, but he is. Oh my gosh, the damage he put on Lulu right there. They should be able to push this turret pretty well.
So when Lee Sin came in for the dive, he landed the Sonic Wave onto a minion, took the Resonating Strike over, ward jumped behind, so he basically used the minion as a free entry point into behind the tower, kicked Varus forward out of tower range, and then Vayne, during the kick, condemned him into the wall, and it was just a dead Varus from there. Extremely well coordinated gank, and that's what you need to do on tower dives because it's a lot riskier to make plays. You got to make sure that your team is on the same page, and they definitely were there, and they were rewarded with a kill.
And look at the CS difference across all the lanes. Like the jungle's pretty even, but top, mid, and bot. I mean, it's a substantial difference between every single lane.
And it's hard to jungle when all your lanes are losing and getting pushed.
That is probably one of the most frustrating things. I've experienced that. I mean, if you've ever jungled, you know exactly what we're talking about. If all your lanes lose and you're just trying to you almost it's like you have so much that you have to do, and it's hard to pick one lane to focus on. It's just really, really hard to jungle when all your lanes are losing just on their own.
Yeah, and with lands that push as hard as these do, for example, Ziggs, Renekton, and then the bot lane that's winning so well, you know, it makes you very vulnerable to the counter jungling, especially against Lee Sin.
And Lee
your
Sin,
team can roam.
That's why you see Lee Sin counter jungling a lot too. He's just living in the enemy's jungle, like right now, because all of his lanes are pushed up so far. He's looking for Wukong, so Wukong really can't make any plays either. And he might be looking for a dive here. They see Wukong spotted Lee Sin there. They should be a free kill on free kill on Ori.
Good roam from Thresh. Ori did not see it coming. Hook to the back of the face, and that's just a free kill.
And 2 turrets to 0, 5,000 gold lead. Lee's going ham over here on Varus. Good ward kick and use of his ult here, and a good thresh. Lulu uses his ult here. Wukong goes in. Lee Sin picks up the kill on Varus. Lee Sin's going on Lulu. Wukong uses his ult and picks up Ziggs. It looks like they might be focusing Lulu here. If they can get one more hook, I think they might be able to pick someone off. But Thresh goes ahead and throws down his lantern, gets a shield out, and I think they're just going to call it after that one.
Yeah, all in all, it's a 1-for-1. These team fights are a little split up. Wukong went for the Ziggs there instead of trying to protect Varus. Little interesting call. It ended up being a 1-for-1, which is good since they're down as much gold as they are. You got to take what you can get, but I think that may be a free dragon here.
Yeah, Lee Sin should be able to pick this up pretty easily. Thresh going out there, warding, making sure no one's trying to steal it, or he can't steal it. That'd be pretty ridiculous if she could.
Yeah, she doesn't have the range, especially if you pull Dragon out a little bit out of the pit like that.
And Renekton still doubled the CS down here. And he only has one kill, but like we said, I feel like Shyvana's has to be. They both have to be sitting on quite a lot of gold. Yeah, Renekton's sitting at 2,300, and Shyvana's at 1,500 herself there. Kind of just a farm lane. They've gotten to that point. This is the most frustrating part, I think, of top lane. Is it's pretty fun early on because you can do like some all-ins at like level 2, 3 kind of thing. But then once you get to the point where both of them are just too tanky for one another to kill, it really just becomes like just a farm lane. And like, yeah, I mean, you could like throw some harass on one lane or like your opponent or something, but like you just don't see a lot of actions up in the top lane because they just feel so tanky that neither of them can really do anything.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we've seen the rise in the Hydra and Tiamat is that people are kind of getting tired of doing nothing in that top lane.
Going 1v2 down here. She's going to pick up a kill on Lulu. Oh, Varus is doing a lot of damage. She's not going to be able to get this. Oh, she uses a barrier. Still kiting Varus around. Wu and Ori come in, help clean up the kill right there.
Good roam down, not enough ward coverage, and Vayne kind of just on her own, a little overextended, but that will leave the mid tower vulnerable, and I think this is going to be picked up pretty easily.
Yeah. They should be able to get this. Ooh, almost a pick there. Lee's going in, just making sure they can get this turret for sure. So 3 turrets already. They have the bot turret and then 2 middle turrets already, and they're already at the inhibitor turret. Just 14 minutes in. Shyvana's going back. Renekton's still just... It's a little bit too much for her to handle right now, and especially with doubling her CS, already having the 1 kill. And now he's just proxy farming, just to make sure she doesn't get anything. Lee over here with the blue steal. He's probably going to give that to Ziggs. And Ziggs with blue buff is no fun for anyone. I mean, it's fun to play as, but it's not fun to play against because it's just... He has so much. Good hook right there. Good Oriole right there. Lulu uses her ult. Wukong uses ult. It's like a triple knockup right there. Shyvana going in using her ult. They're going to chase Ziggs. They get the kill on Lee Sin. Wukong also falls as well. Ziggs doing a lot of damage. Picks up a really good kill on Oriana there, but then Lulu cleans up right there.
So that was a good pickup. They got the blue away from them and a 2-for-2 trade. Like I said before, any even trade when you're behind is considered favorable because you're keeping the gold lead about the same over a longer period of time, so it means less. So that worked out really well for them. A little overextended. They got the Wombo combo off to some extent there, and they made them pay for it, stepping out a little too far in their own jungle. They really need, blue team really need to focus on getting some ward coverage in their own jungle and catching out purple team when they make a little over-aggressive play such as that one.
And Vayne down here, she's just been down here for a really... I mean, she got killed over here. She got caught out a little bit. I'd really like to see either Thresh come over or someone ward around just in this jungle a little bit so she doesn't get caught and she can just keep pushing like she was. Because right now you already see 4 people are just condensed in this jungle right now, and they're probably gonna. She sees them. They all get spotted by a ward. She's gonna go ahead and take these golems, but still, just a few to litter just this jungle with wards a little bit, just so Vayne can get some free farm without feeling too pressured, so she doesn't give any kills like she did not too long ago.
Yeah, Vayne is actually a great split pusher because she's so good in 1v1s because she has that invisibility. She has great outplay potential and the hard CC with her condemned. So it's very important. If they're going to run this strategy here where you have Vayne pushing in the bottom lane, that they have the ward coverage for this. And you can see Vayne actually went for the Bloodthirster route, which is a little bit of a less common build here. That means that she's going to max that Q or Tumble, which is good. It reduces the cooldown as you rank it up.
Going in pretty hard on Varus right there. He's going to be able to get away. He can use the Mega Inferno Bomb. Might finish him off. Yep, it does get the kill on Varus right there. And also a kill in the top lane. Thresh picking up Oriana right there. Probably just a little bit overextended.
Yeah,
They're
she's
just
1 and 4 at this point. Level 9 can't really survive a level 12 Renekton with Sunfire and full Fury bar. But like I was saying, Vayne's got the Bloodthirster, so maxing the Tumble Q because it scales with attack damage, while her W, the Silver Bolt, scales much better with attack speed. So you commonly see Blade of the Rune King, Phantom Dancer as that build. I suspect he's got a longsword, so he might be going for a Last Whisper, but
I think that's probably going to go into a last whisper. I
yeah.
wouldn't imagine that going into like a Cutlass or something. Wukong going in here with his ultimate right here, picks up, or knocks up rather, Ziggs. Good condemn there by Vayne, shoving Siobhan into a wall so she can't really get her ultimate off. But unfortunately, they do pick up a kill on Ziggs. Lee Sin going in on Wukong right here. They should be able to get this kill. When Lee uses Tempest, he can see invisible targets, so when Wukong does his clone, he can still be seen. Good hook on with the Thresh Legend right here. Still, this fight's going pretty crazy. Shyvana jumps over the wall trying to finish off Vayne. Vayne's trying to kite Shyvana. Shyvana picks up the kill. Thresh is going up against Shyvana right now. And down here we see Renekton going pretty hard on Varus. Lee Sin coming in too, killing in Varus. Thresh and Shyvana still having a wet noodle fight up there. Renekton over here trying to finish off Orianna. They should be able to pick this kill up pretty easily. And then I think that they need to turn and kill Shyvana right here. Lulu's already pretty much forfeited her role in this fight, and they should be able to pick that up pretty cleanly. So all in all, it was maybe like a 3-for-1, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a 3-for-1, and the thing that happened with that fight is that, yeah, they got the kill on Vayne. They had to burn a lot for it. They also, oh, no, actually 4-for-1, because Ziggs died at the very start with Wukong. So Wukong blew his ult only on Ziggs, and he was able to pick it up, and they also got Vayne, but the thing is, Renekton roamed down, really fed here, and way ahead with the Sunfire double longsword. And the Merc Treads was not able to lock. They were not able to lock him down, and he kind of just ran rampage with the red buff throughout their whole team. And
yeah, him and Lee Sin just together. That's hard. I mean, when you have those two just sticking to you, it's really hard to get away from because you have Renekton has a stun and Lee Sin has a bunch of slows that he can. I mean, they can both catch up to you too with Slice and Dice and Sonic, or his Q rather.
Resonating Strike is the second one. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So they have great sticking potentials. Apparently Double D's won that game. So congratulations to them moving on to the next round. We still got a while in this game. It's a 12k gold lead, a little over 12k gold lead here for purple team. So that's pretty dang massive at 19 and a half
Looks
minutes.
like they're going to try and get a pick out here on Ziggs, but Ziggs should be able to get away from that no problem.
Yeah, he does not have the flash, but he does have the Assassin Charge. You can jump over walls with that as well as knock the enemy back, so he should be a problem, unless he gets caught up by a Wukong ulti. But you can see here there's a big level discrepancy. We've got a level 11 Lee Sin. Try saying that 5 times fast.
11 Lee Sin? No,
yeah, exactly, right? And then versus a level 9 Wu. Big advantage there. 12 versus 10 in the mid lane, 13 to 11 top, and 12 to 10 in the bot lane. So pretty much a 2-level advantage, and probably 2,000 gold lead per player here. So
go ahead and take a
not
look at
looking
the
good
gold
for blue team.
Oh yeah, everyone's pretty high up against their lane opponent right here.
If they
About
want
2,000 or 3,000 for every single person.
If they want to stand a chance in this, they need to make sure to keep their vision up in both sides of the jungle and not lose a free Baron and look for a big team fight. Really force the team fights and don't let yourself get
There's going to be a
split
dive going on around here. Vayne's going to try and bait this out. She's going to go in pretty hard on Shyvana. They're both going in. Gets the condemn against the wall. Renekton's going to go in. Uses the stun. Shyvana ults back into the turret. I think she probably should have ulted towards her middle turret. And Vayne's going to go ahead and pick up that kill there. Good coordination right there. Both of them taking a few shots, but ultimately picking up that kill no problem.
Yeah, Shyvana, I don't know if she tried a dragon form before she got stunned and then it went off afterwards, or if she was just trying to get back to the tower. Bit of a misplay there. Probably should have ran for her life at that point.
Looks like they're just trying to put in a little bit of pressure
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
down at this bottom turret. And it looks like you said before, Double D's just won their match. So they will be playing the winner of the match that we're casting right now, and that's going to be the next game that we stream. So the Double D's, I highly doubt they're going to play AP Yasuo against Team White Boy and Asians, but who knows? Hopefully we see something pretty interesting. But that should be a really, really good match. A lot of high level, high ELO people playing, and it should be a pretty close one, I think.
Yeah, the random setup of the tournament bracket has led us to a few rough games here at the start, but deeper into the tournament, especially this next game, should be a much better matchup here for you guys. So just be patient for that one and make sure to tune in for there. But like I said, Vayne actually did decide to go for the attack speed instead of the Last Whisper. Interesting, kind of splitting the build path a little bit, but that is going to give her a lot of DPS once she does pick up that Last Whisper, which she's pretty close to at this point.
Ziggs is just so good against these like sieges. He just has so much zoning potential for everyone, and he just, I mean, the cooldown on his bomb is I think like 2-3 seconds, which is just, it's a pretty short time.
Yeah, he can really dish out a lot of damage, and if he gets ahead, you know, those bombs are just as far range, but hitting
Varus
even
uses
harder.
his ultimate right here. Lee Sin takes the lantern out. Good. Shyvana uses her ult there. Wu's gonna look for an ult here.
This is a
Knocks 3 people
4v5.
up.
Vayne's not here.
Vayne's still not here. Lee's trying to get out of there. Lee should be able to finish off Wu right there. Good pickup right there. Renekton gets a kill on Lulu, and it's really just a 3 for 0 right there. That was a really good pickup.
they win a 4v5 there. This is probably near game. Almost a 20k goal lead at 20 minutes.
Vayne's coming in from behind trying to make some action. And there's the ace right there. Good roam from Vayne right there. They should be able to pick up this inhibitor, maybe even finish the game right here. Yeah, that was a really, really good fight. And especially too, that was to the credit of the Grim Reefers. Wukong had a really good engage. He knocked up about 3 or 4 people. There just wasn't the damage or the follow-up to really clean up the fight there. Renekton and Lee Sin are just too far ahead. Renekton's too tanky. Even Lee Sin has a giant spell and a sight stone, so he has quite a bit of health there.
I mean, if you look at the item comparisons of the mid laners and the ADCs, you can see why even in a 3v5 or 4v5 they'd lose. Athene's versus the Needless, as well as no Bloodthirster versus a Phantom Dancer and a Bloodthirster, so
Renekton
pretty much
barely just
a
making it out
raffle
there. And they should be able to just finish this game. I think they're just trying to pad some KDA, making sure they try and get another ace. Maybe we'll see a Fountain Dive or something like that. Probably not. But yeah, pretty interesting game. Wow, double kill right there. Renekton's still really low. He's gonna be able to get out of there, no problem. And they should be able to just finish the game and kill the Nexus right here. There's a lot of shit going on right now. Good pickup by Ziggs. Oh, Renekton gets killed
It's an
by the
execution.
Fountain.
It's good. He just wanted to go back.